Well, probably the biggest question heading into the London Olympic Games was who would light the cauldron. Would it be David Beckham? Would it be Sir Stephen Redgrave? Maybe Daley Thompson? Maybe even Mary Peters? Well, in the end, she nominated one of the 7 young athletes who lit the Olympic cauldron. That was Katie Kirk. I have to say, Katie, you caught the world by surprise. How did it feel when you lit that famous flame, the most famous in sport?
It was pretty unbelievable, I have to admit. I wasn't expecting to get chosen, and to be honest, I think that all the 7 athletes took it in our stride because we were so well rehearsed. It almost didn't really feel like it had the significance at the time, but obviously watching it back, it was just unbelievable. But I think at the time, I don't think I quite realised that it was actually as big a deal as it was until maybe the aftermath of the Olympics that I kind of hit me and sort of realised just how many bets had been placed on it.
When did you know, when were you told that you would be one of those lighting the cauldron?
About 2 weeks before the event. We weren't really given much information. It was just, come to London, we've got something for you to do. And we actually hesitated. I was meant to be racing in Amsterdam, so we kind of didn't really commit to it, and then they told us actually what we were doing, so we kind of had to go. There was no brainer at that point.
And I bet you had to be sworn to the utmost secrecy.
We actually had to sign a contract. Yeah, saying that we wouldn't tell anyone about it, that you weren't allowed to tell media, you weren't allowed to tell anyone apart from immediate family, so it was pretty secret.
And of course, when the 7 of you were lining up, that's when your names were announced, and that's when the world realised it was going to be you. I mean, how's life been since then? Because, your name is recognisable instantly now.
I've done quite a lot of things just in schools and done quite a lot of interviews with the media, and it's just a bit strange. I'm not a celebrity by any stretch of the imagination, but I think people sort of recognise the sport and recognise me in the sport now, which is always good because I always quite like to raise the profile of athletics. I don't think it gets enough attention, so it's really nice to have that.
And it was Mary Peters who nominated you, and here we are at the Dame Mary Peters track, which looks absolutely smashing.
This is actually the track that I train at. So to have that association with Mary Peters all the time is brilliant, and to have her statue actually here all the time, it's almost like she's watching over us when we're training and racing. So it's lovely. I'm training at Mary's track, so I think that's maybe why she picked me, because I'm so local to her and I have so many associations with her.
I know my colleague Dick has a few questions for you as well.
I'm just intrigued as to, Katie, what effect it has had on you as an athlete. Has it given you huge inspiration to achieve more yourself? I recall reading years ago about there was a great Australian, Ron Clark, and when the Olympics were in Melbourne and he was a child, he was picked like you to light the Olympic flame, and he went on then to become a world record holder. He never got the Olympic medal, but he said that was the inspiration that got him so far in the sport. Has it had any huge effect like that on you?
I think it has. Before, you always would say, oh, you want to go to the Olympics, you want to do this, you want to do that, but actually probably it's more the effect of the whole Olympics that I think has inspired me the most. Getting selected to actually light the Olympic cauldron is more of an honour rather than an achievement for me. But watching the actual Olympics, I think, inspired me a lot, especially seeing girls running the event that I want to compete in the future. I think that was probably quite inspiring. And particularly seeing young British athletes as well in the Olympics, I think is just an inspiration.
I'm sure your father Mark would have grown up in the era, and he would remember when Mary Peters achieved her great achievement, so I'm sure he's told you about it several times over the years. So tradition is a huge thing here, and the tradition, I'm sure, is coming off the track now for Katie as she trains there.
I have to ask you as well, the past is wonderful, and the past has been great for you. You're a history maker. 2013, there's a lot of big international competition on this summer. What's on the horizon for you?
Unfortunately, I have been ill. It's always the way, isn't it? So I'm kind of more focusing on next year. I'm going to try and pace a few races this year, and hopefully I'll be competing in August. But I've missed the trials and most of the championships for this year already, so I think this year's maybe going to be a wipeout. But I always look at the bigger picture. Next year's Commonwealth Games year for us Northern Ireland athletes, and I think that's probably going to be more what I'm aiming for instead. So we'll look forward to that.
Northern Ireland representation, it's always a big thing. It comes around once every 4 years. Quick hop to Glasgow. This is going to be really exciting.
It is really exciting. I went to the Commonwealth Games in Delhi, so it is like to compete for Northern Ireland for like our country. It's just brilliant. I mean, people from Northern Ireland, we always have the option of competing for Ireland or Britain, but I think sometimes there's always the dilemma to actually compete for somewhere you feel like's home is absolutely brilliant. It's lovely.
Keep prospering.
Thank you.